Welcome back to Teaching Jobs Korea, and today we have another hot one to introduce everyone to, and today we're going to introduce a company called Francis Parker English Academy. And Francis Parker is a very big company in Korea with many campuses across Korea, and Francis Parker has been in business for over a decade, which means that there's a stable workplace, provides a solid program, and offers a competitive salary, and it's a position that accommodates kinder to elementary level, and it's a morning to afternoon shift. And today we're here at the Gwanggyo Suwon campus, which is located in Gyeonggi-do. Gwanggyo is located in the outskirts of Seoul. It's a very good location with a lot of city amenities, good convenience of transportation and stores nearby, and it's only 40 minutes away from Seoul. So we're here at the Gwanggyo campus, so let's go check out the campus. So we just did the tour of the campus, and joining us today to give us some insight about Francis Parker Gwanggyo campus and also some insight about living and teaching in Korea, we have Teacher Kim and Teacher Mark. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So I guess just to get to know, who you are first, how long have you been working at Francis Parker, and how long have you been living in Korea? We'll start off with you.
Okay, I've been working at Francis Parker for 4 years, and I've also been in Korea for 4 years, so all my experiences with Francis Parker.
How long have you been working at the Gwanggyo campus for?
Gwanggyo campus for 2 years.
2 years. Would you say that between the two campuses is very consistent with the program?
Yeah, our program, we have a curriculum, so the program is very consistent between the two, and it also helps with teacher training and making it easier for the teachers to teach the students and the students to learn in a holistic way.
Okay. How about you, Mark? How long have you been working at Francis?
I've been in Korea for almost 10 years.
10 years.
My second year at Francis Parker. Seen some ups and downs, good and bad, but I'm still here, so mostly good.
I guess at the campus here, what would be the general age group of students that are taught at Francis Parker's campuses?
We're mainly a kindy, but we do have an elementary program as well. So the kindy ranges from 5 to 7 years, and then for elementary, we teach first grade to fourth grade.
Okay, so to teach kinder, what type of teacher would match very well for that age group, do you think? What about you, Mark?
I think obviously patience for a kid, younger kids is important. Enthusiasm to engage with them on their level as well. And thinking of different ways you can connect what is going to be obviously very foreign information, and having fun with it as well.
What about the general layout of the program and curriculum? Different Hagwons have different curriculum, and they focus a little bit slightly different on different aspects of the students and the learning, right? At Francis Parker, what do you think they mainly focus on in their program?
For kindy, we kind of build up the focus. So for the 5-year-olds, our main focus is speaking, and then 6-year-olds, we focus on reading comprehension, and then the 7-year-old program, we start developing more writing skills with the 7-year-olds. But for our elementary program, our focus is mainly on novel and non-fiction reading, and we also have quite a big component on current affairs, newspapers, and just the world around us, the news that's happening around us at the moment. So that's mainly our focus.
Okay. What about at some Hagwons, they have a different system where the whole curriculum is laid out for the teachers, and the teachers just teach. There's other programs where there's a little bit balance to that. And there's just some other programs where just figure it out, right?
Yeah.
In terms of Francis Parker, do you think it's a well balance between teaching hours or teaching time and also prep time? Do you think you have a good balance of that here?
I think we have quite a good balance of this here. We also have a set curriculum, but the teachers have a lot of freedom to teach within that curriculum. So while it is structured and it's good for new teachers to teach them and how to learn how to teach, also experienced teachers can benefit as well, because we allow a lot of freedom with extra materials that you can do, extra activities in classes. And there's a lot of prep time.
Yeah, I agree. As a teacher, I think it's fun to be able to express yourself as a teacher or an individual and have your freedom to teach part of in your personality as well.
Right.
You're not so structured, so again, it's not daunting for new teachers to come and well, I've never taught before. How do I do this? So it has that structure, but also the freedom to add your own elements to it.
I think when you do have a lot of teaching experience, you kind of adapt to a certain teaching style, and I think you kind of need that flexibility to be able to kind of be yourself in the classroom, to kind of make it your class, right? And I think that helps you better understand the students and kind of find that balance in the classroom. From my experience of teaching as well, I think,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, from mine too.
I guess my next question is, what do you think is important to consider when accepting a position at Francis Parker for teachers?
I think Francis Parker differs from other Hagwons in that they care about their teachers. So sometimes at Hagwons, you become like a clown or you're just like a babysitter, right? But here they kind of like appreciate you as a professional. So they take on your experience that you have and they really care about their teachers and professional development of their teachers. So there's lots of support and that can help you grow in teaching. And yeah, it's a very supportive environment,
I think one thing a lot of teachers don't realize when they come out here is that the communication between management and staff is very important, right? Opposed to like, vacation days and like that stuff. And I think they don't realize that until they actually come here. And then, especially when you're adapting to a new culture, new workplace, new environment, I think having that good communication is very important. I guess, Mark, you've worked at a lot of Hagwons, right, in the past?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but I agree wholeheartedly. You need to have that communication, and a lot is just like top down, and that's it. And you just kind of head into your room and go about it. I think here there's collaboration on many levels. One, amongst the teachers, so you can find out what works and what doesn't work, not just for yourself, amongst others, and help each other and grow as teachers and educators. But as you were just mentioning, it's also with administration. So they accept your ideas and your feedback based on the experiences right now and from other places you might have had. And I think that's important to grow as a company, as a group, as teachers and administrators.
I think also when teachers come out here too, I think they have to have a certain understanding that Korean culture is there in the workplace, right? And I think when a lot of teachers, when they have problems is when they're comparing it to how it should be of what they're used to and how it really is here. I think coming in with a little bit of open-mindedness and having a little bit of humility, I think goes a long way, right?
Yeah, it really does.
I guess in terms of Korea and living in Korea, I guess what would be like some of the biggest pros and cons, do you think?
I think for me, accessibility is a big pro in Korea. Like, you can get anything at any time. You can order kupang tonight and it'll be there at 7 a.m. Like, it's wonderful. And also public transport, it's so easy for me. Within Seoul, but also like outside of Seoul as well. It's like 3 hours from Seoul to Busan, so you can travel the whole country relatively easy.
How about, have you done a lot of traveling in Korea?
Yeah, quite a bit. I've done most of Gwanggyo, and then I've been down to Busan, to Jeju, Gwanggyo, and it's like easy to do that.
And now you're in Gwanggyo.
Right now I'm in Gwanggyo.
What about you, Mark? What are some big pros that you have experienced?
Yeah, definitely. If you have a travel bug, it's great to get around Korea. Buses take you everywhere. Overnight trains as well. Beautiful country, and I think it's very accepting as well, especially when you go to smaller cities. People might be afraid not knowing the language or being new here, not knowing the culture. But people are very accepting, and that helps you want to embrace yourself even more, or embrace the culture even more. And I think comparatively to the West, things just work more efficiently here. And you mentioned like transportation, going to the doctor, again, there might be language barriers, but things run smoothly. And as long as you remember to just be polite and courteous and like humble yourself sometimes, just you're in a new place, and kind of go with the experiences that everyone goes through here. So
I guess your experience of interacting with Korean people, have they been pretty helpful or kind of?
For me, it's been pretty helpful because I've been in Pyeongtaek and in Gwanggyo, so there's a lot of English speaking around me most of the time.
I think those two areas too, people are a little bit more laid back.
Yes.
You know, like if you go to Seoul, everyone's kind of like in a rush, a little bit, impersonal, right? How about you, Mark?
Someone told me once a few years ago that Koreans have this unique sort of nature about them, is that they will accept the burden of the language barriers. And I traveled around Asia, and I think it's very true. So even if they might be shy in their own English abilities, they'll still try to help the best they can, like find someone else who might speak English and help make things easier. And so it's a big part of the, I think, Korean personality and character. Very welcoming.
In terms of like connection, I guess there's a lot of things to do here. Like, did you acquire any new hobbies in Korea?
Oh, cafe hopping. I never used to cafe hop at home, but there were just so many cafes around here.
Hopping from one Starbucks and crossing
to another Starbucks, to Compromise, Mega.
Right. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, the cafe culture here is absolutely amazing. You can experience something well beyond having a simple coffee. But it's also very global. Like there are events for, I think St. Patrick's Day, which you wouldn't think you would find in Korea.
Yeah.
So it's very, again, it embraces other cultures, but it takes on its own Korean things of other parts as well.
I think also because it's a very small country, so all the foreigners are kind of like in their one little
Yeah,
spot.
there's little pockets, yeah.
What about like cons? I'm sure there's some cons to Korea, right? I could even name some.
The humidity in summer, that's a massive con for me. I come from a very dry summer country, so you can just like feel your hair grow and grow and grow in summer.
Summer's coming
yes,
too.
It is coming
Right.
soon, next month. And maybe before you get your ARC, it
Yeah.
can be really difficult to do things.
Because you have to get like a bank account, you have to get your phone, right?
Yeah, and all the identification that you have to do online, all the verifications that you have to do. I know in my first year, my bank account didn't match my ARC, so I couldn't do anything for like 6 months. So that was a big con for me.
Even like ordering things online, you can't do it until you actually get your ARC
Yes.
card and your phone hooked up. So I
Yeah.
think that first month in Korea, it's a very hard adjustment, right?
It really
And then
is,
also,
yeah.
you know, Korea, they get paid on a monthly basis. So you have to wait a month to get paid. So just that whole survival.
Yeah, that first month can be really tough.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark, for some cons?
I think people get intimidated by the language, and it's understandable. It can be pretty difficult as an
Right.
English speaker. They're pretty opposite. But I think you need to take the time and get some basics down, and then really help your time in Korea. And obviously, people appreciate your willingness to try and communicate as
Right.
well. I think that goes a very long way.
And if you came here like 10 years ago, smartphones weren't really the apps
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'll go to help
Like
you
how
out.
did you navigate through the streets and find all the buses and stuff?
Well, I did the smart way. I think the first thing I wanted to make sure I could eat, so I made sure I learned my food and how to order food. Again, coupon wasn't a big thing yet, so you had to actually go into the restaurant. Just make sure you can get your food, you get fed, and you'll be happy.
What about Koreans staring? I've gotten comments where Koreans like to stare.
They do like to stare quite a bit, right?
you-
Especially
are you
on the
somewhat used to
subway.
it?
Yeah, I think you get used to it. You kind of just ignore them after a while.
Right. They're not staring in a negative way. They're just it's something new, and they're just staring because it's interesting. I guess kind of.
And I
Right.
find they stare more like down south. When I
Yeah.
went down to Busan, like that's a lot of staring a
Right.
bit there. But in Gwanggyo, not so much. Right?
Yeah, I think people are used to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes you feel good too.
It does, right?
If you have the right mindset, you're like, wow, you kind of feel like a celebrity.
Is like navigating through like using public transportation pretty easy now for you? Like, could you go anywhere? Do you know how to get an SRT ticket or
Yes.
KTX ticket online?
Yeah, all
Okay.
of that.
Online.
Yeah.
Once you know how to do that, then everything's smooth
easy.
sailing, right?
You kind of just need a Korean to help you through it in the beginning.
Right.
Figure it out.
What about some culture shocks when you came out?
Culture shocks for me. The price of fruit, fresh
Oh, I
fruit.
know.
Oh my gosh, why is
And
it so
vegetables,
expensive?
too.
And vegetables. And also like clothing. I watched a lot of like K-dramas before I came,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, everyone dresses so beautifully, it's amazing. And then I got here, and like it's easy to dress nicely because all the clothes that you buy are all like neutrals.
Right.
And there's no like bright colors. So in my country, we have a lot of bright colors, and we express ourselves a lot through how we dress. So I kind of missed that, where it's just like black, gray, neutral.
Yeah, Korea's like, even if you look at cars, everything's like black or white.
Yes, right.
And you get like an occasional blue or like a gray. What about for you, Mark? What about some culture shocks?
As you were speaking, I try to think back when I first came, and someone said to me as well, I didn't seem like I got much of a culture shock. And I think it's about preparing yourself mentally when you come. Obviously things will be different, but if you kind of know you're willing to jump into the experience, both feet, then you just kind of take it as, all right, that's different than home. But I just kind of jumped in and didn't seem to get fazed by much. As a Canadian though, I do appreciate lining up in order. It's rather than kind of frogging around like foot traffic. But other than that,
And that's why
you just gotta
you've
go
been
along
here
with
for
it.
10 years now.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right.
Just go along with it. Yeah.
And I guess on a final note, if you could just give one solid, good advice to anyone coming out for the first time, what would it be?
Do your research.
Do your
I know
research.
it's like a simple thing, but do
Right.
your research on what you're getting into.
What about you, Mark?
I would say learn some basic phrases. When you get out the airport, you're going to need to know something. And just be as open-minded to jump in with both feet as you can. And I think that takes a lot of the fear and that homesick sickness that you're going to experience and just
Right.
lessens it a bit.
I think with ChatGPT too, it's a lot more easier to kind of communicate. You just write things out and like you push the speak, right? Well, thank you again for taking the time to speak to us today. I just want to
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your
great.
insight. It was great to meet you.
and hope you liked today's program and giving information on Francis Parker, the company, and also the Gwanggyo campus and some insight from some lovely teachers. And we'll be back with more videos. Thank you very much.